Rakurakubi during the day, they look like ordinary people, but at night they get the ability to stretch their necks to a huge length. Some of them are able to change faces. There are two types of Rakurakubi, one with an elongated neck, two Nukakubi, translated removable neck. These creatures have a head that separates from the neck and floats freely. Rakurakubi's goal is to scare people to feed on their fears, and secrets. In order to achieve this goal, Rakurakubi go to all sorts of tricks, for example. They pretend to be drunk or fools in order to lull a person's vigilance. Some Rakurakubi can lead a normal life during the day, get married, and have children. Rakurakubi live in all areas of Japan, both in large and small cities and in small villages. Japanese legends disagree on who the Rakurakubi are. Some call them the souls of cursed people, others equate them with the inhabitants of another world. Kunekune is a fictional creature from a Japanese urban legend. Description: resembles a slender white humanoid figure, similar to a paper mannequin or a piece of thin cloth. It inhabits widespread rice fields or acres and is rarely found in the open sea. The limbs are constantly moving, as if a strong gust of wind is blowing, even if the day was calm. It is believed that Kunekune can only be seen from afar. In some versions of the legend, if a person tries to look at it up close, he will go crazy. In other versions, if someone touches it or just gets too close, the Kunekune will kill it. Possible explanations for the appearance of Kunekune include confusion with traditional scarecrows found in rice and barley fields, or hallucinations caused by heat stroke and dehydration on hot summer days. Aka-manto, Japanese urban legend of the masked spirit, who wears a red raincoat and appears to people using public or school toilets. Aka Manto is described as a male spirit, ghost, or yukai who visits women's restrooms. He wears a flowing red cloak and mask. Under this mask, he is sometimes described as handsome and charming. According to legend, if a person is sitting on the toilet in a public or school bathroom, Akamanto can appear and ask him if he wants red or blue paper. In some versions, the spirit may be asked to choose between a red and blue cloak, or between a red and blue cape. Any choice leads to the killing of the user. Therefore, in order to survive, he must ignore the spirit, run away, or reject both options. Kutisake Onna, the woman with the torn mouth, is a Japanese urban legend about a beautiful woman who was mutilated and killed by her jealous husband, then returned to the world of the living as a vengeful evil spirit. According to legend, an unusually beautiful woman in a gauze bandage walks through the streets of Japan. If the child is walking down the street alone in an unfamiliar place, then she can approach him and ask, "Am I beautiful?" If the child says yes, then Kutisake Onna rips the blindfold off his face, and it shows a huge scar running across the face from ear to ear, a giant mouth with sharp teeth in it and a snake-like tongue. This is followed by the question, "Am I beautiful now?" If the child answers no, she will cut off his head with scissors, and if yes, she will make him a similar scar. The legend became most famous in Japan at the turn of the 1970s and 1980s, causing a real panic. Teke Teke is a Japanese urban legend about the ghost of a schoolgirl who fell under a train and was cut in half. According to legend, Teke Teke is a vengeful spirit that appears at night in cities, mainly in the areas of railway stations. Teke Teke does not have a lower body but moves on her hands or elbows, pulling up her torso and making a scratching tek teke sound. If Teke Teke meets a victim, she chases him until she cuts him in half, killing him just as she died herself. The origin of the legend is associated with the story of a girl who threw herself on the railway tracks in despair. In some versions, she was thrown onto the tracks by tormentors in others. The girl fell by accident. In any case, her body was cut in half by a passing train. Okiku doll, Japanese doll. In 1918, a young man bought a doll with long hair as a gift to his little sister named Okiku. The girl was very happy and called him by her name. But a year later, the girl died suddenly due to flu-related complications. Parents, in memory of the baby, placed her favorite doll on the home altar. After a while, they discovered that the Okiku doll's hair had grown back to the same length as their daughter's when she was alive. They cut the toy, but soon the curls grew back. The parents decided that the doll was possessed by the soul of their little Okiku. Parents gave the doll to a Buddhist temple. The doll is a figure in a kimono less than half a meter high. It has black beady eyes and long black hair, which the servants of the temple constantly cut, because they grow back at a speed characteristic of human hair growth. Scientists examined the doll and stated that Okiku's hair is human, growing at the same rate as the hair of ordinary people. However, scientists have not yet been able to answer the question of why the toy has natural hair that grows. Serbian dancing lady, a character of modern urban legends that has gained popularity thanks to the internet. The essence of the legend: at midnight on a deserted street, you can meet a woman performing a strange dance. If you approach her or call out to her, she will attack, often with a knife in her hand. The origin of the image. There is no consensus on what constitutes a Serbian dancing lady. There are versions that she is either a ghost or an escaped patient of a psychiatric hospital. There is also a popular hypothesis that all dancers are victims of a demon who controls their bodies like puppets, forcing them to dance and kill people. Appearance. The lady is dressed in a long black dress or robe. Her face is hidden by shadows or a veil. Abilities. The character has an inhuman amount of stamina. There is information that the Serbian lady does not leave the dance, even when attacking, and runs extremely fast. It should be remembered that the story of the Serbian dancing lady has no scientific confirmation. Mariana Mordegard Glesgorv is a creepypasta story created by an unknown author. The plot revolves around a mysterious video that, according to legend, was posted on YouTube. In the video, a man sits in a dark room with a red filter and looks at the camera, and then smiles sharply. The story began to spread in April 2008. It tells the story of people who discovered the video and either went crazy or hurt themselves. However, there is a refutation of this story. It turned out that the image for the video was taken from a website that was used for a 2004 survey of marketing professionals as an example of web design. The stories about Mariana Mordegard Glesgorv have no real evidence. Mothman is an urban legend about a mysterious winged creature with a human silhouette and bright red eyes. It all started in November 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Two young men said that at night they saw a figure about 2 meters high with huge wings resembling a moth. After that, reports of a strange creature were received more and more often. Mothman appeared in various places. At abandoned factories, on vacant lots, near bridges. People described him as a creature with gray skin, big eyes glowing in the dark. Gradually, residents began to associate his appearance with troubles and misfortunes. The culmination of the legend was the collapse of the Silver Bridge on December 15, 1967, when 46 people died. Many believed that the appearance of Mothman was a warning of impending tragedy. Ufologists suggest that it could be an alien or interdimensional being. Skeptics believe that people saw a large owl or a bat, and the headlights of cars created the effect of glowing eyes. Psychologists explain the mass surveillance by fears and rumors that spread rapidly in a small town. Today, Mothman remains a popular figure in culture. Films are being made about him, books are being written, and even an annual festival is being held in Point Pleasant. Hanako-san, or Hanako from the toilet, is a Japanese urban legend about the ghost of a girl who appears in school toilets. According to one version, to summon Hanako-san, you need to go to the women's bathroom on the 3rd floor of the school, knock on the 3rd booth and ask, "Hanako-san, are you there?" If she is present, she will reply, "Yes, I am here." If not, she can get angry and harm whoever is bothering her. There are different versions of Hanako-san's story. According to one, she was killed during World War II when bombs fell on her school. According to another, she died while playing hide-and-seek with friends and ended up locked in a toilet stall, where she eventually died of bleeding. According to the third, she was a victim of bullying and committed suicide in the school bathroom. Annabelle, rag doll, a character in a popular urban legend that says that the doll was possessed by a spirit or demon. Films such as The Curse of Annabelle and many others have been made about this doll. The legend of the doll says that in the 1970s, the doll was given to student Donna by her mother on her 28th birthday. Soon, Donna noticed that the doll was moving from place to place on its own, changes the poses of its body, floats in the air, and one day, bloodstains spontaneously appeared on the doll's dress. The girls decided that the doll was possessed by its late former owner, the 7-year-old girl Annabelle Higgins, after whom it was named. Paranormal researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren took the doll to their museum, known as the Warren Museum of the Occult, where it is displayed as one of the exhibits. The Warrens claimed that the doll continued to exhibit paranormal activity. Goatman is an urban legend that, according to some versions, originates from Maryland, USA. The essence of the legend: a half-human, half-goat creature that roams the forest and scares those who meet in its path. The origin of the legend: there are several versions. Some believe that Goatman is the result of a failed government experiment. Others believe that it is an ancient demon that has awakened. One popular version says that the creature appeared because of a scientist who worked at a government laboratory near Bowie, Maryland. He was involved in a secret project for the genetic modification of animals. One day, while working, the scientist accidentally got under the influence of an experimental serum and turned into a half-human, half-goat. Pisadeira, an urban legend of Brazilian folklore. The legend tells about a scary woman, which comes to men who are afraid, or to those who had a big dinner and lay down on his back. In this position, it is almost impossible for the victim of the pisadera to escape. Pisadera is described as a bony and thin creature with short lower limbs and long, dirty hair. He had a hooked nose, reddish eyes, thin lips, and sharp teeth with a greenish tinge. Her long fingers have wide yellow nails. If a person hears a characteristic laugh at night, it means that a rider will come to Pisadera. The monster tortures its victim until she suffocates from fright. But also a Pisadera can leave a person, having had enough of fear. Skinwalkers are characters from the legends of the Navajo Nation in the southwestern United States. Translated, their name means the one who can put on someone else's skin. According to legend, Skinwalker is a powerful sorcerer who is able to transform into animals: wolves, foxes, coyotes, and others, to hunt or harm people. Legends say that such transformations are available only to those who have violated the sacred laws of the tribe, committed atrocities, and received dark magic. To become a skinwalker, a person allegedly had to commit a terrible act. For example, kill a close relative. Skinwalkers are described as creatures with superhuman abilities. They are incredibly fast. They can run faster than cars. They change shape, voice, and can even read minds. Some legends say that they are able to imitate the voices of friends or relatives of the victim in order to lure her into a trap. Many people believe that skinwalkers live in isolated places like the infamous Skinwalker Ranch, where strange phenomena are still recorded: mysterious lights, unusual creatures, and animal disappearances. There are many videos on the internet where people claim to have encountered skinwalkers, or suspect that their pets are behaving strangely and may be skinwalkers. Some researchers believe that the stories about skinwalkers are a reflection of ancient fears, misunderstandings of natural phenomena, or the consequences of oral tradition. Skeptics suggest that people may have mistaken large animals for skinwalkers, especially in conditions of poor visibility. Nevertheless, for the Navajo, this topic remains very serious. Even today, many people prefer not to discuss skinwalkers out loud, fearing that talking about them might attract unwanted attention. Cropsy is an urban legend in New York City, USA that originated in the 1970s and 1980s. Cropsy was described in legends as an escaped mental patient who lived in the abandoned Willowbrook Asylum, and he would go out late at night to kidnap children from the streets. Most often he was described either with a bloody axe or with a hook instead of a hand. But behind this image was a real person: Andre Rand, born Frank Rashan, former orderly of that very psychiatric hospital. His name became known throughout the country after a series of eerie disappearances. He became the main suspect in the case of 5 missing children. In 1988, Andre Rand was found guilty of kidnapping and first-degree murder of Jennifer Schweiger, an 8-year-old girl with Down syndrome. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison and later received an additional term for kidnapping another girl. The Bonaventure Cemetery ghost is one of the most famous and frightening legends of Savannah, Georgia. This is the story of Gracie Watson, a little girl who died in 1889 at the age of just 6. Her parents buried her in Bonaventure Cemetery and placed a life-size statue of her next to her grave, carved so precisely that people said she seemed to watch you as you walked by. Some say they have seen the statue cry. Others claim to have heard children's laughter echoing between the graves, or even saw the ghost of a little girl in a white dress playing near Gracie's monument before disappearing. They say that she especially often appears to children, and some parents report that their children talk about a sweet girl they met at the cemetery. And while much of this story sounds like legend, the Gracie statue is real, and its short life is documented. Rake, a modern urban legend that appeared on internet forums in the early 2000s. A character in the creepypasta fandom. Description: a humanoid creature with long claws, which earned it the nickname Rake Man. Its body is somewhat deformed, its skin is pale and covered in dirt and scabs. According to legends, the creature lives in forests, is quite cowardly towards people, and hides in the forest. Rake's claws are quite fragile, and most likely they will not be able to kill a person, but they can maim the victim. There is no evidence of Rake's existence. All photos and videos that were used as evidence were exposed and turned out to be photoshopped. Black-eyed children. The legend of the black-eyed children emerged in the 1990s and quickly spread across the internet. These mysterious children look normal at first glance. Pale skin, ordinary clothes, but their eyes are completely black, without any whites. They often appear at night, knocking on doors or car windows. They talk calmly, asking to come inside. But it always seems that something is wrong. People who experience them describe a deep, all-consuming sense of fear. In many stories, those who let them in either mysteriously disappear or suffer from strange illnesses, paranoia, or mental disorders. Some believe that these children are not people at all, but something ancient and sinister pretending to be innocent. Phantom clown sightings, an urban legend that became widely known in the United States in the early 1980s. She became part of the mass panic despite the fact that she had no confirmed evidence. In 1981, a Boston school counselor sent out a warning about clowns who stalk children. The police started receiving calls about clowns in vans trying to lure children into the car. Soon reports began appearing in other cities, including Omaha, Kansas City, and Denver. Cryptozoologists have called this phenomenon ghost clown syndrome. He explained that people see clowns because of a primal fear that many children experience in their presence. Despite numerous reports, police have been unable to confirm any incidents, and no ghost clowns have been arrested. Resurrection Mary, one of the most famous ghost stories in the United States, especially in Chicago. According to legend, a young woman named Mary was dancing with a guy in the hall one evening. At some point they quarreled, and Mary left the hall. She was walking along Archer Avenue, but before she could get very far, she was hit by a driver who fled the scene of the crime. Mary's parents found her body and buried her at the Resurrection Cemetery. Since then, people have reported seeing a young woman in a white dress walking alone along the side of the road. Sometimes drivers say she asks for a ride and gets into the back seat of the car and points the driver down Archer Avenue. But when the car reaches the local cemetery, Mary disappears without a trace. Even police officers and taxi drivers described encounters with a woman, similar to Mary's description. Slender Man, one of the most iconic modern urban legends born on the internet in 2009. It started as a creepy post for a Photoshop contest. A tall, faceless figure in a black suit standing behind children in old photographs. But the image was so disturbing that it took on a life of its own. Soon people started sharing stories about this creepy figure, which appears near schools, parks, and forests. He doesn't talk or chase, he just stands and watches. Sometimes people claim to see him in the shadows or even feel his presence in their rooms at night. The legend became even more disturbing. In 2014, two 12-year-old girls from Wisconsin, they wounded their friend 19 times, claiming that this was Slender Man's order. The victim survived. The attackers were sent to a mental hospital for treatment. This real-life crime shocked the world. Slender Man is a completely fictional character. Hook, a classic urban legend popular in the mid-1950s. It usually starts with a couple of teenagers sitting in a parked car at night, often on a quiet road or near a forest. While they are talking, the radio broadcasts the news. A dangerous killer has escaped from a nearby shelter. He has a metal hook instead of a hand. The couple is nervous. In some versions, they leave immediately. Others hear a scraping sound on the car. But when the boy gets out to check, he sees nothing. But when they finally leave, and when they return home, they find a bloody hook hanging on the car door handle. It is said that this is just a warning for teenagers to avoid secluded places. Charlie Challenge, an urban legend about paranormal phenomena that gained popularity on the internet in 2015. According to legend, you can summon a spirit or demon named Charlie by placing two pencils or pens in a plus shape on a piece of paper and asking, "Charlie, Charlie, are you there?" The top pencil or pen should then move to indicate yes or no answers to the questions. There is no single version of the origin of the legend. According to various beliefs, Charlie is a dead Mexican child, a Mexican demon in cahoots with Satan, The game is sometimes considered dangerous due to reports of paranormal activity or possession. However, many experts attribute these messages to psychological suggestion and the ideomotor phenomenon, where people unconsciously influence their own movements. It should be remembered that such legends have no scientific basis. Devil's Tower. This is a rock of amazing shape in the valley of the river Belforche. It is a monolith of volcanic origin. Scientists don't know exactly why it has this shape, but there is a Native American legend that explains it. According to one legend, a group of girls were brutally killed by a huge bear, and two managed to escape. They ran until they met some boys who convinced them that they could kill the bear if the girls agreed to be bait. The kids climbed to the top of Devil's Tower, but the bear chased them. The boys then started shooting at the monster with bows until it gave up and slid down the cliff, leaving scratches on it from its claws. The Devil's Tower has no scientific basis. Rabbit Man. According to one version of the legend, a bus carrying prisoners from a mental hospital crashed, and the prisoners escaped. Most of them were recaptured, except for two. Later, the body of one of them was found near a railway bridge, and nearby were the remains of rabbits. Since then, many stories have appeared about a man in a rabbit suit who allegedly appears near the bridge, especially on Halloween Eve, and attacks people with an axe or machete. In 1970, two incidents were recorded, when a man in a rabbit costume threatened people and threw an axe at them. These incidents were documented in local newspapers and police reports. If you have any ideas for the next video, write about it in the comments. And if you like this video, like it, and don't forget to subscribe.